Yeah, we got a very special guest today. Could you do me a favor and introduce yourself?
They call me Lazy, Ron Dog, H Group, Wah Ching, Pomona.
Much love, much love. Thank you for chopping it up with us today, G. And I'd like to get started at the beginning of the story. So could you tell me how was your life growing up?
My life growing up wasn't terrible, man. I was born in Orange County, Garden Grove. Uh, there's a large Vietnamese community out there. Uh, we were out there. My parents are first generation. Fresh off the boat, whatnot. Um, we stayed out there for a little bit. They were doing whatever they need to do to make ends meet. Then maybe when I was about 4 years old, I moved out to Pomona,
Hmm.
LA, like last city of LA County there, and they opened a little restaurant there in Pomona in the north side, and we've been there well, they had that restaurant for damn near like maybe 16, 17 years. So if
Yeah.
you've been around the town for a long time, you might remember it. But man, well, anyway, they're just doing their thing, but they spent a lot of time working and stuff, and I can't say nothing about that. They're trying to get us all on our feet in a better place, and I was just home a lot. I got a lot of little brothers and sisters. I'm the oldest of six, and they're busy, taking care of their stuff. So I ended up stuck at home a lot, taking care of the little ones, just making sure we were all right while they were doing what they had to do to put food on our table.
Yeah.
But that's where I was at. Not too bad.
So
Um,
do you think because they were out there so often, you felt maybe you were looking for some kind of relationship outside of out of your home?
yeah, that's exactly what it was, man. Like with me going to school, it was hard to find a place to fit in because it was mostly Hispanics and blacks and whites and stuff. It was kind of hard growing up. And my parents, they were just doing what they had to do. So I was stuck at the house all the time. And I guess when I hit that age, adolescence,
Yeah.
like when most kids, rebel and do all that, I I kind of went off the deep end, man. And I remember I went back to OC because I had a little friend growing up when I was about 3, 4, 5 that stayed in Orange County still. So anyway, at about 13, I went back to visit him one day, and he's a little bit older than me, and I didn't know anything about none of that stuff. But there's a large Vietnamese community down there in Orange County, Westminster, and all that, and he was already, gang banging and doing all that stuff. So I got exposed to. That was the first time I was exposed to like the straps, the weed, just the way they get down, and
How did that feel being exposed to that? Like, were you excited or were you a little nervous about it?
man, I was excited, man. Like, where I was at, most of the Asians were like, going to school, doing their thing, and I guess I'm just a different breed, man. I got that when I was younger. I had that, adrenaline addiction or whatever,
Yeah.
and I just always loved to get into things, especially things that other people weren't, and
Yeah.
yeah, I was, uh, I don't know, I just liked it from the gate, man, from the gate, and then that sense of family and camaraderie and everything is
Yeah.
everything I was looking for.
So it's kind of crazy because your parents are working all day, and within the gang structure, you kind of found like, I wouldn't say parents, but like parent figures. You know what I mean? Not only that, but you found brothers. You found just like everything you're looking for in a family. You could find there. It's a trip, man.
Yeah, and then the Asian stereotype. They're always like, they always think you're gonna become a doctor or a lawyer out the gate. That's what they want for you, but sometimes that's not for you. But
Yeah.
I I I probably didn't have to go as far as I did going the other way, but you know how it goes.
And how long did it take after you started linking up with your boys? Uh, how long did it take for you to start getting arrested?
Well, man, right soon after, as soon as I checked that stuff out, I went back to my city. I'm all the way on the north side of Pomona there, and I started hanging out with Asians at my school and stuff like that. But then I was kind of trying to find those Asians, like where they're at. And at that time it was crazy because that's when like all over the news was that Wah Ching Asian boy thing, that shooting at the pool hall.
Yeah.
and they were doing their thing. And next thing you know, I run into somebody from there because I had homegirls and stuff, and they were dating dudes, older dudes from there and stuff like that, and we all just used to kick it. And I knew that that's pretty much where I wanted to be, what I wanted to do at that time. So we just linked up, we started kicking it, and and I loved it, man. I loved it. What can I say?
Yeah. Damn. Yeah. And how soon after did you start like getting
I
incarcerated
mean,
and shit?
I got busted at probably like 14, I think. 14, 15 was the first
Damn.
time I got busted for a couple GTAs and stuff like that. I went to the halls. My first juvenile hall was LP, Los Padrinos.
Yeah.
Um, and then from there, I went to camp. I went to camp that time. I went to camp. I went to Camp Challenger. Went through, went to Jarvis and all that. And then I went to Camp Holton. And I was just running around there and running around the halls. And I actually got out of camp after I did about 7 months. And I stayed out for about 30 days.
Yeah.
And, I was in the middle of a school fight in front of the whole high school type deal. And ended up knocking some dude out, and I proceeded to like kick him in the head and stuff. So that was pretty bad, and it was in front of the whole school. And then you got the school security there, so everybody knew it was me. Everybody knew what I did. So I ended up catching a case and going to YA for assault with a deadly weapon because he was unconscious on the ground when I kicked him.
Damn.
And they sent me up. They sent me upstate with a 4-year max. And
Damn.
and
How did that feel? Because really, like, I know you'd probably think like, who's going to YA? Probably going to YA for shooting people up and all kinds of shit. Like not that what you did in not that what you did was like wasn't severe, but like you just kick a fool around a little bit. You know what I mean? It's like sometimes that happens. You stop. You mean somebody loses, they get stomped. Like, did you trip
yeah,
out? Did you trip out? Like, what the
maybe
fuck?
maybe I went to school like way north, like way north of Pomona. People are familiar with it. Pretty much on the border of Laverne. So I went to the school right there over there in Laverne,
Yeah.
and they didn't see that much of stuff like that, man.
Mm,
Like I had my house shot at by other people that were looking for me and everything. And
okay.
you just don't really see that much stuff in that city up there, But I
Yeah.
brought that over there, and to them that was just crazy to them what we were doing out there, because I was bringing the stuff from south side of Pomona up there into a, a, a higher class neighborhood, kind of way north in Pomona,
Yeah.
and
It's like over in
they
that
just
area,
weren't
there's
having
like
that shit.
golf courses and shit like that.
Yeah, they weren't having that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. So yeah, then I ended up going to YA, man, and that's why I'm here talking to you. I mean, after YA, I went to prison. I did all that level fours, 180 shoe, but Nellis and YA and all that, man, big part of me, man. That shit, it's
Yeah. So
kind of like,
let's get into that a little bit. Let me ask, how was it? Well, did you have a lot of homies that laced you up about YA? Like, oh, this is how it is. This is how we get down, anything like that? Or was it a little different for you, like where you just kind of had to figure it out as you went along? Or was it a mixture of both?
yeah, I had to figure out, mixture of both. Like when I was going through juvenile hall and my camp stay and all that, I was around Asians are far in between. Like you hardly run into them. Once in a while, you will.
Mhm.
And then I was the youngest out of my crew, and getting busted kind of like one of the earliest. But we were all getting busted around the same time. But LA County is so big, you hardly even see each other. But
Yeah.
I learned from like Southsiders, blacks, just everybody just talks about it when you're in juvenile hall and in camp, because YA is like prison for juveniles. That's like, if we keep on going down this route, that's where we're gonna go. That's considered big boys in our age group over there. Like
Yeah.
when you go up there, that's like they ain't playing no games up there.
Yeah.
That's yeah.
So you find out you're going to YA. How does that hit you? Were you like, oh shit, like I'm really
Well,
going, or were you just like, fuck it,
yeah,
let's roll?
yeah, like fuck it, let's roll. I knew that, if you live this life, man, eventually that's where you're gonna end up, either there or dead. I mean,
Yeah.
like people keep saying that, especially when I was young, they keep saying, but damn, it's so true, man. Is you're gonna die from it, or you're gonna end up catching all day sitting there, man. If you're really doing it and you're really out there, That's really the only two things that are gonna happen.
Yeah.
So yeah, I
Yeah.
just went. I figured I knew it was bound to happen because I know I'm gonna roll with this. You know, everybody's trying to make their name, do the thing, and to me, it was just all part of the process. You know, like I'm gonna go through this, I'm gonna do this because I mean, if you're out there putting in work and doing what you're supposed to do in that game,
Yeah.
that's what you're gonna have to go through. You know,
And
so
when you got to SR, did you get tested at any point? Did anybody want to say, "Oh, what's up with like you said, like there aren't too many Asian cats that are just rolling through, so it's
right.
like unfortunately, a lot of times, when there's stuff like that happening, they'll look at certain people and be like, ah, that probably it seems like an easier target because he doesn't really have too much more backup. Did you get that kind of happening to you at any point?
A little bit, but at SR, the Asians there, they were with the business. You know, what I mean, there weren't that much of us, but the ones I did ran into, they were with the business.
Yeah,
But by the time you hit YA, like you know, it's uh, it was kind of like more, you know, racial than the halls, maybe a little bit. I don't know,
yeah,
but it wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad. It wasn't bad. The homie from the homie Happy from Flip Town Mob was there. Him rest in peace. He went to Nellis with me too from there. But SR really wasn't too bad, man. SR wasn't really too bad. But I did get in fights and shit like that, and I trip out. I
yeah.
think you're talking to the homie Goofy from Verdugo. If you get in a fight in SR, you're going to Nellis. It's almost mandatory. I didn't know that until you guys talked about it.
Yeah,
But
that I was tripped out on that too because I was like, shit, I didn't even think of that either. But
yeah,
it sounds like there's some truth to it because mainly everybody who was fighting ended up did go to Nellis.
now, yeah, I caught a fight in the chow hall where so I think he's from Asian boys or somewhere. I think the unit I was in, I think either Cabrillo or Gibbs, one of them, we were working the kitchen at that time, you know, wiping the tables and serving and stuff like that. And his unit came in, he was wolfing. I got down right there in the chow hall. And I guess that's probably why I ended up going to Nellis. I think they put me up for Paso and Nellis, but whatever, you know what I mean? I ended up at Nellis and shit.
Did you hear the stories about Nellis before?
Yeah, I heard everything, man. I heard it's a time bomb. You're getting down every day. People are testing you, and it didn't fail to live up to par, man. That shit was fucking crazy.
So you get your spaceman suit and it says Fred C. Nellis. So what are you thinking? Like where you're like, oh shit, it's rock and roll time, where you're like, oh fuck, it's really gonna happen.
Yep, yep. It's crazy, man. That's exactly how I felt. Like, damn, you know what I mean? Like, this is it. It's going down, and I'm gonna ride it out. That's all there is to it. I'm do what I have to do, but I'm trying to go home too. But you know, we'll see what happens when I get there. You know, because I ain't gonna go out like that. So,
What was your first parole consideration date?
probably about 2 years from
2 years.
the day that I went to my initial board.
So you got
Yeah,
2 years and you go to Nellis. What's your max?
max was at almost like 4 years,
Four. So
and
it's
I
yeah.
didn't max out though. I ended up getting out a couple months before my max and shit. But yeah,
So
they started off of me at 2 years. Come back in 2 years.
so you get to Nellis and you get to are you in Truman or Monroe?
Truman.
You get to Truman. Are you tripping out on the way it looks because it's a little like that's a smaller yard, or are they lacing you up? Is anybody telling you, hey, this is gonna crack?
Yeah, a little bit. I think they had Mac reps come hit us up one time too, and holler at us about a couple of things, but it wasn't. They didn't really go into depth about too much,
Yeah,
But it was the first time that we end up going to a place. It's a state facility now, so it's like the first time I run into other homies that are from upstate. I run into a whole brand new freaking nationality. Even I mean, Hmong people. I don't know if you even know. I don't know if you know what Hmong people are, but it's a nationality in Southeast
yeah,
Asia.
yeah.
I
There's they
haven't
don't have a country, but they
exactly.
yeah
Yeah, you know what's up?
they've been migrating all over the place for
The
centuries
mountains
now.
and shit.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I mean, I'm close minded. I'm from California, LA County. I just know what I know, and I run into a homie. He looked like me. I saw, where you from? You know what I mean? He was from Fresno. He was an Asian Crip. And then I was like, and he's saying he's Hmong and shit. I'm like, what is that, Mongolian? And he's like, no, man, I'm Hmong. And and he laced me down about his people and stuff like that. But anyway, he was a cool cat. They're
Yeah.
good people and shit. But yeah, I got to know a lot of people, from all over the state once you hit YA.
When in the was there any like did you know what cottage you were going to, or were you kind of like was that up in the air?
That was up in the air. That was up in the air. They ended up separating us and stuff. And there was a homie that came before me too. I was an SR and the homie Happy, that rest in peace, from Fifth Time Mob. He ended up going to Cleveland, and then I was there in Truman with the other with one or two other Asian cats, and I think they ended up going to Roosevelt, and I ended up going by myself to Jackson.
To Jackson. And Jackson kind of had like a reputation back then of being like a pretty, rough cottage. What did you
Yeah,
think when they told you you're going to Jackson?
man. Like I was just hoping I had some of my people there that can at least lace me down and let me know what's up. I was ready to rock and roll, whichever direction it went. I was with the business, so
Yeah.
I was just hoping, the people that I run into were good people, and we can get through this.
And what happened when you got to Jackson?
It's crazy, bro. Man, you know how you mentioned so many times why it's crazy. And I've been to prison, and I was in the shoe. I've been to 4 yards, 180. But ain't nothing like Nellis, man. Ain't nothing like Nellis and YA and Jackson Cottage. That shit was freaking crazy, man. I just knew that when I got there, I'm gonna do what I gotta do, man. Cause I know that I'm gonna be doing this for a while. I know that I got homeboys that are gonna come through behind me. And I ain't about to go out like that.
Yeah, fuck that.
I
Yeah.
had to do to make sure that when people come through behind me or whatnot, I hear about my name, like I don't want nothing bad to come out of their mouth. So I did everything I had to do, man. And it wasn't easy, man. Like, CYA, man, especially Nellis. I haven't been anywhere else but Nellis and TS, but from what I hear, those two spots are rocking and rolling, man. Ain't an easy place. But yeah, I pulled up. There was an Asian cat there, like one or two, but it was like I kind of feel like everybody, after a while, they're just trying to find their niche and try and program. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And especially for Asians, there's not that many of us. Like wherever you can find a place to get in, like and do whatever you gotta do. I mean, some end up punks, some end up riding it out, but
Yeah.
some just do whatever they do just to get by and not be a punk, but program and go home on their date. But anyways, I pulled up to that spot. There was a homie there from V Boys and shit, Vietnamese boys. And I was talking to him. He laced me up, and the softback situation. Like he had on the softbacks for the Asians. I knew there were Asian softbacks too, because I guess the guys before us had poked holes in them, like 5 dots. We rolled with like the 5 dot thing.
Okay.
So I knew there was Asian pride property right there. So they told me to sit right there, this and that. But the funny thing was, the dude that had the softbacks, he was real close with a south side of that. He wasn't feeding Rasa, but he was like whatever and shit. But they were like, how some people in there, they get real close and
Yeah.
turn to the ramfla and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We had the Asian softbacks with like two of the homies there, and then that dude, low key. Now that I look back at it when I'm older, I think he was just probably trying to scoop that shit up, because
Yeah.
how you hand them off when you leave to whoever.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think he was just trying to snatch that up. But whatever. He started getting jealous and all kinds of weird shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I had a situation like that where some cat wanted to be my rampla because our neighborhoods were cool and shit, right? But
Yeah.
I was tight with my boy Diablo from Venice. That was my dog. And when fucking he would see us chill, he would always get like all like fucking
Yeah.
Heine-ish. And I'd be like, dog,
Yeah.
like, chill the fuck out. Like, we were
Yeah.
boys and shit. We don't need to act like some
Yeah.
fucking schoolgirls and shit. Ain't what the fuck you doing?
Yeah.
But
That's
yeah,
crazy,
there's some
man.
cats that do that shit.
Man, I ended up getting down with that fool and everything because I think he figured like if I ended up sticking around, like when that homie left, whatever, I'm gonna end up getting those softbacks because the right thing you do, I mean, that's my people's, you know what I mean? It
Yeah,
ain't his, that's my people. Asians passed down, and
yeah,
there ain't that many. So if I stuck around, naturally what's supposed to happen is I'm supposed to take over that shit, whoever's there's last. But But I think he got kind of jelly and kind of like, oh, why are you kicking with that guy that just rolled up someone? Like, what the hell? You know what I mean? Like, this is some lovers quarrel or some gay shit. But anyways, I ended up getting down with that dude that
Yeah.
was kicking with the other Asian and shit like that. And I, you know what? And it's like, you know, when you're a case or your lab out and stuff like that, if you don't got nowhere to sit on the softbacks, you know, you got those metal tables in the back corner, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's almost like a status quo. Like if you end up sitting over there, it kind of sucks, you know what I mean? Because it kind of seems like you ain't got nowhere to go, you know what I mean? You ain't got no respect or something, you know what I mean? Like some,
Yeah.
that's what they make it seem like, but it's all games now. But anyway, come into play, the legendary kickboxer everybody talks about. That's my boy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
From MVR, you know, was it MNV, whatever?
Yeah. MNV.
Yeah, I don't want to put names out there, but it's already all in comments and stuff like that. And anyway, but I ended up getting cool with him, and he had hella respect, and we were just chilling. And I think now that I look back when I'm older, it was kind of like a flex on his end because he had so many softbacks. He did whatever the hell he want. Everybody was looking up to him like all crazy and shit.
Yeah.
Like he kind of felt like, damn, they're kind of doing me wrong. Like, what the hell? He's an Asian. He's just trying to kick it with his people, and then you got some level over here, fucking causing a lovers quarrel, and he's getting down with these other fools. Like it was just like, you know how it is, favoritism and shit like that. And he was just, I think he just wanted to flex, man. Now I look back at it like, okay, like you're not even feeding, man. You're level on shit, and you fucking like you're causing all this drama between these people right here. I'm just gonna have him come sit right here. Like, fuck it, what you guys gonna do? He ain't gonna do nothing, you know?
Yeah.
Anyways, I appreciated that because he saw my situation. He had all that respect. He said, hey, man, just post up right here on the trip. And I was like, cool, man. And me and him were dogs like the whole time. That was the homie. He was cool as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dope. And
And I know a bunch of your homies, Cricket, like that. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to holler at you. Like, you know, that's a big part of me. Now there's Jackson Cottage, all that stuff. And even from juvenile hall, man, I know like pretty much the first people I ever ran into was like Baby Chucky from your hood, rest in
rest in
peace.
peace. That's the boy right
Yeah.
there.
Baby Blanco, all of them, you know what I mean? And from doing all that time in Jackson Cottage, you had Termite over there, Baby Termite, and then you had Steeler over there, and I know Mortal, rest in peace.
Oh,
Mortal
yeah,
was funny as hell. He used to talk to me like when I first met him. He used to talk to me trying to say stuff in Chinese or something because he looks hella Chino, you know.
Yeah.
And he was like, "I'm Asian, bro." I'm like, "What?" Like, he was like that. That's the homie though, man. Rest in peace. Damn.
Yeah.
That's fucked up. Yeah.
But yeah. He was a fool too. He had mind games too. That guy was a trip. I mean, he would have fools banging and shit. But like, who are these fools? They didn't grow up with you, dog. But he was a trip, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hell
but
yeah.
fuck it. Did they ever try to anyone ever try to test the water with you on Jackson, like bag you up or anything like that?
Hell yeah, bro. Like, you know, people be, you know, trying to do that shit, and I'll be throwing that fuck. We be getting down, all kinds of shit. Get down in the blind, all kinds of stuff, man. But you know, after a while, when people saw my get down, they already knew what's up with me. You know what I mean? Like, you can go into my locker if you want to, but you know, it's up to you if you want to catch that level B, because I'm gonna throw that fuck, and we're gonna be getting down. You know, and
Let,
I'm
let me
not
ask
gonna.
the first time that happened, because I know like after that you like if it happens again, like you said, that's on them. You know, like you're gonna handle it your way. You already know what's gonna happen. But that first time it happens, what was going through your mind?
Man, like, here we go. This is the shit that they talk about. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like, and I'm just gonna do my thing. And I know, like, at Nellis, when you get into a fight, man, it's only like what 15, 20, 30 seconds when the cop comes spraying already and stuff.
yeah.
And you ain't gonna die, you know what I mean? But that adrenaline rush is a motherfucker when you
Oh
get up
yeah,
in front of the day room and throw that fuck, like, damn, like, it's nerve-wracking, you know, but you just gotta ride it out, man. You just gotta ride it out. I just knew in the back of my mind, I ain't gonna die. Fuck it. Yeah, you know what I mean? If I get my ass whooped or not, I gotta do it.
yeah.
So it is what it is, you know.
What
And
was
after a
your
while,
what was your size like back then?
my size, I wasn't for Asian, I wasn't too bad. You know, I probably weighed about a buck 65,
Oh, it's not
you
too
know,
bad. Yeah.
5'9", 5'8", 5'9".
Oh, so you're a decent sized cat.
Yeah, I wasn't small or anything like that, man. I was a decent size.
And the reason I ask is because I was like 5'6", like 120. So if I was,
Damn.
yeah, so it's just fucking, you hit me in
Yeah.
the head and I'm like fucking bobbling and shit. You know what I mean? Like that fucking head
Yeah.
was just too big for my shoulders to begin with.
Yeah, you see the whole spectrum, man. You see, man, I seen young cats going there like 13. Like I was there when Puppet from Verdugo pulled up. I
Oh
was
yeah,
there.
yeah, he was a small guy too.
Yeah, he was young as fuck,
Rest in
and I
peace.
remember, yeah, rest in peace, and a real young cat too from Cathedral City.
Oh,
Fucking
Scrappy.
yes, little scrap, yeah, little scrap. He had a homeboy there too. I think local or something like that. But it was a little older than him. But yeah, a little scrappy and shit. I remember he pulled up, bro. At first he was like, "What the fuck?" I shed a tear, like what the fuck? These are big kids right here, you know.
Yeah,
Wow, he started doing this thing,
that part ended up getting big as fuck too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, before I left Nellis, that fool was like he was on swole. I was like, damn.
Yeah, yeah, I remember that shit. Yeah, I was there, man. I heard you talking about with the homies on here. Like I was there when they broke into the canteen. I was there when
Yeah, lay,
Termite and them kicked it
yeah,
off with the
lay,
blacks. All
lay some
that
stuff a
shit.
little bit about the canteen situation, how
The
that happened.
canteen. Well, yeah, the canteen situation. I heard when that shit started going down, like 2 days before, 2 3 days before they actually got caught, they already started breaking into the thing because they took the lights out. There's a whole box right there over that door. They take that box out and they got out and went through the roof and everything. Man, I was like, fuck, I had just lost my cell. I mean, my room because I was fighting and all that stuff. I was
Yeah,
stuck out the door. I was like, damn, I could have been going over there too.
yeah,
I mean, now I look back at it, like, why? It's probably just more time because everybody got their shit took back anyway. But it is everything that you said, man. They were just just breaking in there, and I heard that they were, and I just lay in my bunk in the dorm because I knew it was going down. But whatever, I wasn't a part of it. I wasn't in the room no more. But yeah, they went out there and went in there, and Jackson's right next to the canteen,
yeah,
right
right
next.
next door.
Yeah, so they're up in there chilling and shit. Yeah, bringing back all those new shoes and shit. But it was just a matter of time, man. We were just kids, just doing stupid shit. It was just a matter of time when the guy came back and saw. They're gonna find out. You know what I mean?
Well, they said they were the fool I talked to. He said he was one of the cats that had started doing that shit from the beginning, and he said
Uh-huh.
what had happened was the screen to the canteen, they had
Uh-huh.
lifted it, and that they were able to make it not look so bad at first, and then
Yeah.
after a while, he's like, they're gonna find out. Like as soon as that fool comes back, they're gonna find out. Like
Yeah.
like we can't
Yeah.
fix this shit. So that's when they just said fuck it, and they just took
Yeah.
everything. And I
That
was just,
shit crazy.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a trip, man. So what did they do to you guys as a cottage when they found out that all? Because I know I had heard shit was going into the dorm too, like that
Yeah,
they were
they're,
they were
they're, they're, they were just trying to gather all that shit back and try and take back as much as they can. People were getting their level Bs. I think we might have, I don't know if we went on lockdown or not. I forgot, but because we went on lockdown so many times. I remember I was there when they beat up the Bulldogs that pulled up, but I don't know. It might have been one of those times when we ate fucking cheese sandwiches for a couple of days, just sitting on our racks in the cottage. You know what I mean? Remember they used to do that shit? Just give us
yeah,
cheese sandwiches, lock
give
you
put you
down
on
in the
freeze and
cottage.
shit.
Yeah, I'm freeze status. That's what it was until they got all that shit figured out. But yeah, that shit was man. It's crazy. It's like I'm saying, it's like 25 years later, and that's just crazy. Some stuff I remember, some I don't. But the more I talk about it, it comes back to me. I've been through a whole bunch of crazy shit.
So
You
let
know,
me ask you, what was your enemy situation like over there? Were you guys tripping on each other like that, or were you just like,
no, not too bad. No, not too bad. The Asians we kind of like it's they're always in different cottages, and the ones that we try to stay tight. So actually the situation wasn't too bad unless I run into fools from like sometimes Asian boys that still be tripping on that whole shooting and stuff like that, talking
yeah?
shit. And I'll get down with them once in a while. And at TS I got down with one, but really we're pretty. It was all right, you know what I mean? Like just the weak ones right there at my cottage that were doing that bullshit. And then there were even weaker ones, which is crazy because like I'm from Wah Ching, you know what I mean? And there was like a couple cats that pulled up before me. They're probably in Hayes too. I think one of them was in Hayes. Maybe his name was Hong, if I remember correctly. But him, and then he had like two more crimies and shit.
Was he
One was
cat
a
with the
redneck.
long hair?
I think so.
Okay, yeah, I
I
remember.
think
I
so.
was in Hayes with him. Yeah,
I, and then like I don't know what was his situation. Was he under the guns over there? Well, I don't know. But
That
anyways,
one I got that.
him, okay, there was him, and then there was like one in Roosevelt, and then one in like fucking Madison or some shit. His name, man, but I was like flipping this shit all day because they were fucking doing some gay ass shit, bro. And freaking, they just like, my hood is big and shit. You heard of Wah Ching before, and they were just doing their own shit. And I don't even know these dudes, but their program was so different from mine.
Yeah.
Like, and they just put out a bad name to when I pulled up. People were kind of assuming that that's the kind of program I run, but nah.
Did that kind of piss you off? Like, cause
Hell yeah, that's why I was kept on fucking always talking shit to them motherfuckers. If I'm like, keep the hood out your mouth, you know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? You over here cased up, and I'm hearing all kinds of crazy, them getting got by booty bandits and all kinds of dumb shit, man. That shit was crazy though.
Yeah, and that shit, like people think that shit, like they always trip out on that, like, damn, did that really happen? It's like, yeah, that really happened. Unfortunately, like for those kids, that really did happen. That was fucked up shit, man.
Yeah, I seen that shit more in the youth authority than I seen the whole 8 years when I went to prison.
Yeah, because they ain't gonna let that shit ride in the joint. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? Say that funny shit over here. Yeah, but in fucking YA, it's just little kids doing all kinds of stupid shit.
Yeah. I don't know what they think that's how it goes down when they watch the movies and shit. They think that that's the get down or something, but in reality, it's crazy because it's total opposite when you get upstate, man. When you go up there with the grown-ups, it's totally not what you think. You know what I mean? And like you said before, like those guys down in YA doing that weird shit, sometimes it catches up to you, you know? This is real shit.
Cats need to, especially if there's any youngsters thinking they could do that shit nowadays, like just realize, like, don't do that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that shit, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's so crazy. Like I have kids, step kids now. They're 17, 15. I look at them and I'm like, there's like no way. What would happen if you ended up at that place? You know what I mean? Like, damn, because it wasn't a hard place, man. Like I said, I've been through all this other stuff, but that's a big part of me right there. Nellis and YTS and CYA. That, like you said before, man, that place is like a breeding ground for murderers, man. And the recidivism rate coming back from people from YA. I mean, I was only out for 6 months, and it's crazy, man. It's everything you see in the movies, man. Well, even probably worse for juvenile,
Yeah, even somebody was asking me one time. They asked me about a little kid, right? He's a 15, 16-year-old kid, and they said, "Do you think he would have made it in YA during your time?" And I said, "Look, I'm not woofing on the kid. I'm not. You know what I mean? Like he's a good kid." And I go, "He's a little troubled, yeah." But I go, "But it's a different culture back then. You know what I mean? It was a way different culture, way different, like just mindset." So I said, "Nah, I don't think he would have made it." You know what I mean? Like
that's why it appeals to me so much to talk to you, Javi, and read people's comments about YA, because like a lot of people probably got like PTSD from that shit. It's like now I see why, like, people from the military, like when they get old, they don't talk about it much, but when they run into somebody that was there with them at that time in that war zone, and it all comes out and they talk about it to each other, and it's like, therapeutic, because that shit was real, man. I mean, I made it through and I was all right and stuff like that, but I ain't gonna say that that it probably didn't scar me. That shit was crazy.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like being people like know like how you feel when you're like so solo, like especially if you don't have homeboys there like that and you're getting into it with whoever, your people, Mexicans, blacks, and you know how Taft is. You go to Taft, you got no homies, you just locked up, man, and Taft, bro, I've been to a lot of lockups and SHU and prison, all that shit, but Taft, damn, bro, yeah. You think it's cool? You think it's cool at that time with shackles on your ankles, shackle around your belly, handcuffed to your belly. You think that shit's cool, but yeah, after a while, like you're like, damn, this shit's crazy. They're really doing this shit to us. Like,
you feel like an animal.
Yeah, I remember they keep you shackled just like that. Your ankles, your belly, and then the cuffs together to your belly, and you shower like that in a cage.
Yeah,
like there's like 3 cages next to each other, all next to each other, and you're still fucking locked up, and you cup your hands out like this so they can just pour some soap into your hand and whatever you can do to fucking throw on your body and wash down with your cuffs and your shackles on. That was it. And then try not to have people getting into it spit on you. You know what I mean? Because it's crazy back there. And you start thinking like an animal too, man. Like you're all cuffed up, and you go to the day room, and you can see somebody got into it. You're jumping on that table, trying to kick them, headbutt them, because you ain't got no limbs to work with. It's wild, man. It's
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah, because when you go to program, what he's talking about is when you go to program, you're going cuffed up like that too and tapped. This is before they had this spas. They called them the cages, called them the spas. But before they had that, they had you cuffed up and shit. And you sit on a metal table basically watching TV, and you're what next to what's like five, six other guys.
Yeah.
And then yeah, and if somebody's talking shit or a lighter or whatever, then you're gonna try to get them any way you can. Ugh. It's
Yeah.
weird. It's some weird shit
Yeah.
because it could be
Crazy.
two catches headbutting each other. Bing, bing, and it's because you
Yeah.
can't swing them. You can't
Yeah.
swing it unless you know how to get out the key or the cuffs, which were some
Yeah.
cats did know how to do that and they fuck people up. But for most people, they didn't know how to do that. So you're just gonna fucking headbutt each other or fucking try to bully each other. It's just it was some weird ass, like you said, it makes you think like, damn, where's some straight fucking animals in here?
Hell yeah, man. They treated us like it too, man. That shit was crazy. Yeah, and I ran into all them cats you mentioned. Like I think freaking Soldier, I think he was true. Was it from Linda Vista or Chula Vista down
Linda
there?
Vista, yeah.
Yeah, and then fucking like a bunch of dudes I was there with and shit, man. Like it was a crazy time. And then I did a Nixon program too. I remember seeing some of your comments. They mentioned somebody on Bandit from 155. You remember Bandit and
Oh
Downer?
yeah, yeah, I remember them.
Yeah, I remember. I think they were getting into it with the blacks back there in Nixon, and then they brought them two out. It was Downer and Bandit, and then me and my celly, he was Ruger from Fresno Asian Crip. I
Mhm.
think because he was a Crip, they considered like almost like black. So
Yeah,
we were kind of just chilling in that little shower area. They were doing something. I don't know what the hell they were doing to ourselves or whatnot, but we're chilling in the shower area. Next thing you know, they took off on us. Like the two from 155 just took off on me and the homie. But it was like whatever. We just got down, whatever, and then after I finished that Nixon program, and like you mentioned before, they stand on that line in front of the office going to see what's up with their level B.
yeah,
I pull up with my cottage and shit, and I see him standing right there, and you already know what's up. Got bust that Superman and shit. You know what I mean? He took off on me. You know what I mean? I didn't even know at that time, but it's all good. After that, we're just chopping up a little bit in the van and shit. He wasn't even
yeah.
tripping. I wasn't tripping. It was all good, but. I seen them mention in your comments. I hope they're doing good too, man. Because regardless of what that shit back then, because I guess it wasn't so bad for me, but I realized we were all kids back then, man.
Oh
Just
yeah.
doing crazy ass shit. You know what I mean? I did a lot of fucked up shit too. I don't
The whole
really
thing
care
is
about it.
you're a child trying to fit in, right? You're like, I don't give a fuck what anyone says. I wasn't trying to fit in. I was my own guy. And most people in YA were trying to fit in. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like the
yeah,
majority of cats wanted to be part of something. They wanted to either if they wanted to maybe be at the top of the table or at the bottom. It doesn't matter. They wanted to be at that table. They wanted to
right,
fit in. They what I mean, and they did what they felt they had to do it.
yeah,
And it's a trip. And I'm no different. Like everybody be like, I can stand on my own. Everybody wanted to be part of the gang. Everybody wanted to be fin raza, respect the black or whatever it was. They wanted to be that. And it's like they wanted to be part of it. You know what I mean? So it's like nobody really was standing on their own. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Everybody was just fighting to be part of the clique.
And you can imagine at that age, all that testosterone going through you, and not really knowing what's going on in your mind. Like you're not grown yet. It's just so I'm just saying, just that mix of testosterone and that
Mhm.
age, and just going through it, gang banging at the age you get, just kind of getting started at those ages. It's a crazy.
Oh yeah, because even though you are just trying to fit in, at the same time, you're gonna you're gonna act out violently. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
To fit in. And then
because
that's
that's
the
all
thing.
there is. That's
Yeah.
all people see in there. That's
Yeah.
it.
So it's like I always say there's two sets of emotion. There's only two emotions the people from our communities know, right? And that's happiness. We're clowning. What's up, lazy dog? What's up? Dog? Or you're pissed off. Fuck that shit. And that's
Yeah,
it. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And it's like fuck it. And that's how it was. Why you could be clowning one day, and next thing you know, pink, 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 motherfuckers are getting them up.
for sure, man. Yep, yep.
Yeah, so that's a trip, man. Fucking what age were you when you started thinking like, hey, this going to jail shit kind of sucks, man?
Man, I mean, every time I kind of got out, I I was like, man, I'm cool with this shit. But you know how easily it is to get sucked right back in, you know?
Yeah, everything has to go right for you to stay out.
Yeah, it's not easy, man. I paroled from YTS in I think 99, and I was only out for like no, not 99, like 2000, like 2002 or 2001. At the end of 2001, I paroled out of TS, and then and I came back not even 6 months later, man. Caught a shooting case and went upstate.
Damn.
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't know. I guess that place does make you, because you hear so much crime. Like, I don't know, people be firing it up and stuff like that, but every other person in there done shot somebody or tried to shoot somebody or gunned people down or got shot at. And you're like,
Yeah.
damn, like, you can get away. Because, the only thing I was really, because at that time I was crazy, bro. At that point, like, I've been tripping off anything about even taking a life or anything. You're not even worried about that.
Yeah.
You're probably worried more about getting caught than actually taking someone's life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was like, damn, like people doing all this and they don't get caught. So man, by the time I get out, I could do it too. I just gotta be slick. That's the only thing I got at YA. Like, fucking, if all these dudes can get away with it and did it this many times, I mean, I can get away with it too. But it ain't always that simple, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And what was it that kind of made you want to start changing? Was there an event, or was it just kind of just
Just
doing
kind
the
of like,
same
man,
thing?
like, just you know, I got out in 2009 from my prison term, and after I had a baby like 2 years later. I mean, it's different when you have kids. When you're solo, all you got to really worry about is yourself.
Yeah.
When you start having kids, and then you see like your family getting older, your parents getting older, and, and you don't want to be locked up, and your parents pass or whoever pass, and then especially your kids, man. Like, imagine what we went through. Like, it was bad, and
Yeah.
you don't want that for people you love. I couldn't imagine leaving my daughter or my son out here or any of my kids, solo. That's almost selfish, because you gotta take care of them. If you really love them, you gotta be out here to take care of them. You know what I mean? I
Yes,
mean,
sir.
shit happens, but if you can prevent it, I mean, would you rather choose being in there or being, there for your family?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we said you got out in 2009. You made that decision. W- what things were different from when you got out of YA and caught that case
Mhm.
to when you got out in 2009 to make that decision? You're not going back. Like, what was it that was set that prevented you from going back?
I just think a lot of it is that point you keep making about, your brain is not really fully developed until like maybe, in your, mid 20s,
Yeah.
So when I got at YA, I was still barely not even 20 yet or about 20. And you're just still kind of crazy, you're not thinking right. And
Oh
then
yeah.
so I pretty much grew up in the system right there. And then I went through all my 20s in there and got out when I was almost 30. And I think is combined with just maturing,
Hmm.
and figuring out what's really important in my life and what are my priorities, and just knowing that and realizing that time is short. You know what I mean? I was up there
Yeah.
with lifers and people are never going home again. And it's like, how am I gonna, they would have gave anything to have the opportunity I have to get out and just be free, but they don't have that opportunity. So it's like, how, well, like in prison, like they'll tell you like, man, if you ever come back, bro, I'm gonna beat you up. You're stupid if you ever mess up, and that's for real. Like, that's kind of messed up if I just squandered this opportunity I have, come back right there and sit right back in those level fours or shoes and
Yeah.
everything, and just a waste of life when somebody could have took my place, and I know they would have been good because there's a lot of them in there still. That's, if they got out now, they're a totally different person. That'd be good. They wouldn't go back, but for
Yeah.
them, that ship has sailed, and
That's
and so
fucked up, man.
I just gotta take advantage and appreciate my life and take advantage of it, because some people don't get that second chance.
Yeah, no, you're right. And it's crazy because even going back to what you said earlier about being young at a YA, being stupid, thinking like even if you want to change, you still don't know how because you're just like you just still got that YA mentality. I remember getting out of YA, going to the going on my bike towards by the high school, 20 years old, but I'm thinking like I'm 16 still. You know what I mean? It's because you basically when you get out of YA, you're trapped in that age that you before you went to YA. You know, it's
Yep.
crazy, man. And it just seems like when you get to the joint, it's when I see homies get out of the joint, they don't seem like they're trapped anymore a lot of the times, especially after they did years,
Right.
15, 20 years. I see them like they want to live their life. They want
Yeah.
to, you know what I mean? They
That,
want to do something. Well, you could do,
and those are the cats you see all day. I was celled up with them, man. They did their crime 25 years ago, and they're a totally different person. I know in my heart, if they ever hit the streets again, they wouldn't be back.
yeah.
But they don't have that second chance. You know what I mean? Some people don't
Damn.
get that, and that's why we gotta appreciate, what we got and take advantage of it the best we can. Like because it could always be worse, man. That's why I always watch stuff like this, man.
Mhm.
It just reminds me where I don't want to be. And it
How,
is
how
what it is.
how often do you think of the homies in there? They
Every
have
day, man, all the time, constantly. Because we left a lot. I left a lot of good people in there that I met. You know what I mean? And it just sucks, like because we all make mistakes, and
yeah.
they just made that mistake that they won't let them come back from. And I guess that's the goal. Because growing up, everybody's gonna make mistakes. Because
Mhm.
that's just how it is. But you just got to be careful and do your thing and don't make that one mistake that you're not going to be able to come back from,
Yeah.
because once you cross that line and you got that L behind that number, you could die in there and you ain't going to see these streets again. And that's bad. That's fucked up. That's
Yeah.
not life. That's not life living like that, man.
Yeah, that's how I tell people always trip out when I tell them. I said, you know what? Every day when I wake up and I see the sunshine on me, it's just like I just think how grateful I am. You know what I mean? Because even though I've never been in the joint, I could have easily one of my decisions could have led me there. You know what I
Right.
mean? And
Yeah.
you know, there's no telling how long I would have. You know what I mean? And then
Yeah.
one of my decisions could have led me to not being able to walk, not being able to fucking see another day. You know what I mean? And we know so many people like that that
No many, bro.
yeah, that we can't help but fucking feeling grateful that the sun is shining on us.
Yeah. I remind myself every day, man, it could be so much worse.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
And for
Yeah.
people who let me ask you this: for people who say like, you guys are stuck in the past, don't worry about that, just move on with your life. How important is it to remember like the homies that didn't make it where we are today?
Very important. I mean, would you want to be in those shoes right now, like sitting in that cell? Put your mind back into your Nixon program or whatever program when you're locked up in solitary confinement, wishing like if there was any way to, if I can get out of this cell and just touch the streets again, smell the air, you know what I mean? All that, a touch of a woman, bro. You're not gonna see no pussy in there. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, none.
All that, like. Man, I can't even put into words how important it is to just remember where you came from, because you can just forget about all you want, but once you get in those cuffs and sitting in that back seat of that squad car, you're like, damn, you already know what's coming. Well, you already know
Yeah,
what's coming, and you're gonna wish to everything like in that situation.
yeah,
So anything it takes to remember where you came from, to put how your emotions and your mind back to that place sometimes where it reminds you like that's how bad your life could be. I take it. I think
yeah.
about it all the time because fuck that shit, man. That ain't life, man.
No, I agree with you 100%. And then that's what I try to tell people. I said, you know, a lot of the times it's not like living in your glory day or heyday thing. It's more like motivated by your past kind of thing, where it's like
Right,
I'm not going back to that shit. You know what I mean? Like
right.
I know what that was. Like exactly like you said, I know what that was. I've been through that shit, and there ain't no need for me to repeat that motherfucker. You know what I mean? And so I'm gonna remind myself of that shit constantly. Like, dog, that ain't for you. You mean there's all kinds of other shit out here. That's what you
Yeah.
need to do.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. They don't have to. I mean, given I guess they closed all them places down, but I don't know what they're gonna do with the people. at the age we're at now and whatever they do, I don't know if it'll ever be as bad as it was, but it's a lot of wasted time, man. You could have,
Yeah.
if you would have just took that energy to put it somewhere else, it would have been that much better. I mean, this shit don't come with a 401k plan. When you get out, it's not like the homies is gonna hook you up with a big ass chunk of money to reward you for the sacrifice you made, and then you can continue your life and whatnot. Hell no. Nah. All them
Yeah.
years you lost, they just put you that much more backwards. And I don't regret it because it made me who I am today. But maybe if I caught a life sentence, yeah, I'd probably regret it.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
You
Oh,
know
the
what I
good thing.
mean?
I always say the same thing. There's no way I could regret it because I don't know what would have happened otherwise, right?
Yeah,
But like, I don't. I could tell you, people, I didn't enjoy it, and I could tell you, I know that for a fact because I don't want my kids going through that shit. You know what I mean? So it's like it wasn't that great because I don't want my kids going through it, but it worked out for me, fortunately. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
I
And
guess it took me a little bit longer.
yeah.
And they abuse people. Just one quick story, man. I remember. Do you remember a African staff member, big ass black dude named Sappho? I don't know if you. I think that was his last name. But anyway,
Sounds familiar. I don't remember him.
yeah, he was one of those ones that you heard that he'll fuck you up if he comes to the cottage and he pulls you out and all that. I
Yeah.
remember this one time I was in Jackson still, and we were just causing all kinds of ruckus in the dorm, right? So the person in the office called for backup, and those two gooners came. I don't know what they call them now, but they're like the cops and stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, I was under my covers. I was laughing about something, right? And next thing I know, I feel somebody pull my bed sheet by my feet. Get your ass up. I was like, fuck, this dude about to fuck me up. I get to the shower area right there. It was me and then some other Southsider. And then freaking they twist this dude up, right, and put him on his belly in the shower area. And the dude proceeds to put his knee on his back, right behind his lungs, between his shoulder blades,
Oh fuck.
until this dude passes out, bro. So he's
Damn.
out. I was like, holy shit, bro. And I was like, damn, they're gonna do that to me too. Nah. He didn't do that shit on purpose. He didn't
Yeah.
do that shit on purpose. No, he didn't. Anyways, they kicked him in the ribs to wake him up, and they go back to your fucking rack and stop making noise.
God damn.
And then I was thinking, like, well, maybe they'll take it lighter on me because they maybe accidentally knocked him out. Hell no. I was next. I woke up to the fucking sea of fucking green tiles in front of my face. Like, where the fuck am I at? Oh yeah, I'm in the shower area.
God damn.
Knocked me out, bro. Like,
How did that feel, dog?
I couldn't breathe. I was drowning, bro. The big old freaking like 300-pound black dude. I'm 16 years old at the time. He's just kneeling on my back with his knee between my shoulder blades. I'm on my belly, where he pushes my lungs down between a rock and a hard place because it's the ground and his knee where I couldn't even take in no air.
Shit.
No air. He pretty much just choked me out.
Damn.
In that way. Well, I couldn't take in no air. And he did that to the other homie too.
How long was the sense of time for you being out? Like, did it seem like 10 minutes or did it seem like you didn't even know? Like you woke up like, whoa, like was that 10 minutes or 30 minutes?
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure I knew it was real quick because I know they'll knock me out and wake me up because they were not going to just leave me there,
Yeah.
So I knew exactly what happened. Like when I woke up, I already knew exactly what happened. And I was like, damn, and it's right back to your rack and lay it down and stop making noise now.
Damn.
Crazy, bro. Yeah, that's what they're in Jackson Cottage and shit.
And that was a night staff?
Night staff, yeah.
So damn, so they had to call them in.
Yeah, they called them in because we were being rowdy. So they're just looking for anybody that was fucking up or doing stupid shit. And I was under my covers laughing so you could see the sheet shake, So I was one of the ones they wanted to make an example of. So there I was. Knocked me right out.
Damn.
Yeah, that shit was fucked up.
Did that calm the dorm down after?
Hell yeah. Fuck it. They went to sleep. It was getting late anyway. But
that's fucked up, man.
I remember they used to tell people like, run against the locker and hit your face against it. And then those dudes would do it and they're like, oh hell no, harder. Like they just have motherfuckers run into the fucking lockers and shit to fuck themselves up.
Yeah.
There's some crazy shit over there.
Yeah, there was a lot of fools that would engage in like self-destructive, abusive kind of behavior where they'd fucking y'all would just chip out like, what the fuck are you doing? Rubbing shit all over themselves. Like, what the fuck? Why are you doing that? Like, what? I remember when I was in, speaking of Taft earlier, I know you talked about Taft. When I was in Taft, when this cat was rubbing shit all over his face, I was just thinking to myself, like, this motherfucker does not need to be here with us. Right?
Yeah,
We're some gang members. I understand. Fuck it. Throw us in here. Whatever. They
yeah,
got to get this motherfucker some help because you
yeah,
don't rub shit on yourself and just fucking like, you're
for
not,
real.
that's not cool. That's not like fucking like, oh, don't worry about it, guys. I got this under control. It's like, nah, this motherfucker's rubbing shit all over himself. And I remember fucking, it was fucked up because I'm chilling, right? And this
Yeah,
fool's across the hall. And I just hear, oh, this motherfucker's rubbing shit all over himself. And he's like, that shit fucking smells. And then oh, fuck, what the fuck is that? And you look and you see this fool rubbing that shit, like, what the fuck are you doing? And then
yeah,
you start smearing the window with that shit. And I'm just like, damn, these motherfuckers are wild, dog. Like, I need to get
yeah.
the fuck out of here. Like, they need
Man,
to,
yeah, it's crazy how much they look the other way, man. Like, it's crazy, bro. I mean, because when me right now, 40 years old, looking at kids that are like 13, 14, 15, I'm like, no way would, I let that shit ride. That shit was crazy. Like, I heard about, I was there when Beaver was there and shit. I didn't know how much he was going through and shit. But when I hear that story, I'm like, damn, like, how could you, as a grown up, a mature individual, how could you let all this kind of this craziness happen? That shit was
yeah,
fucking wild, bro. Like, and then mental health, they should be old enough to know about mental health and issues like that, where a kid really needs help and go get them some. That's crazy how they overlooked all that stuff, man. It's freaking nuts. But I remember Jack though, the black dude on Tyler. He was
oh
cool.
yeah. Yeah,
I
somebody
used to
wrote
do.
to me, said he passed away recently.
Oh,
Rest in
really?
peace, yeah.
Yeah, that sucks. That was a cool cat right there. Yeah, I used to work on his crew and shit.
Yeah, Jack was, to me, he was one of the cats that did care. At least to me, it seemed like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
To me, it
yeah,
seemed like he cared, and he taught me some shit where just a certain perspective where I kind of, a lot of it I still use this to this day. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So much love to him, man.
yeah, man. That sucks, man. If you rest in peace, if you pass away, that's crazy.
Yeah, I heard he recently passed away, and I was just like, damn, that's fucked up. I would have loved to have interviewed him because he did have, to me, a different outlook on it and the way he tried to approach things. Because he was the only one that really told me, like, you're going to get out of jail, and he's like, and you have to live life once you get out. And then he would just tell me, like, you're gonna live like you're in here, or you're gonna live like you're gonna stay out there. And I'm like, I don't fucking know. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. And then he would just basically break things down, and a lot of it, when it got rough, like, I would just think of some of the things he said. Cause there were times where it get rough when I was on parole and shit. Like, damn, I just fucking, like, this shit sucks. But
Yeah,
a lot of the shit he said helped, and much love to him. Rest in peace.
man, that's good, man. You were one of the smarter ones, Cricket. You got out of Nellis and TS and made it and stayed out, man.
Yeah,
That's
try.
good,
Hey,
man.
hey, it was a difficult. It's difficult, dog, for real. It really was. But like you said, when you have motivation, my wife was pregnant, or my girlfriend at the time, my wife now, she was pregnant, and I just thought, like, the way I grew up, because when I was a kid, my pops was in prison. You know what I mean? And I was just like, do I really want to repeat this show again? Or, like, should I, you know what I mean? And I said, nah, you know what? I have to do something differently, man.
Yeah, I mean, if you love somebody that much, you don't want them to go through what you went through, because that shit's fucked up.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And let me ask something, because the grandparents program in in Jackson, was it as bad as other spots there?
Hey, check it out. Oh, the grandparents coming to the cottage.
Yeah.
No, I think they used to bring some tattoo ink and nothing major and shit. But what's crazy is that I used to work at fucking Culinary Arts right there, where they used to all come in and we served them right
Yeah.
there behind the school area.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to work there. I get the homie Domer from Florence was working there with me too.
Yeah.
He's the one that had a bunch of acne, right? Domer.
I was there with the little domer, the black homie.
Oh, okay. Nah, this Domer I know from Florence, he's light skinned cat. He had a bunch of acne. Anyway, he was over there with me and shit. And yeah, that shit was crazy over there too and shit. I was working in that motherfucker. Yeah, they're fucking crazy. They're crazy over there. I don't know how that programming was there. That shit was just crazy, bro.
Yeah, I was asking my wife one day, like, I was like, who do you think was more at fault, the predatory children or the predatory grandparents? And I don't know why they all said, it's the predatory children. They take advantage of the grandparents. The grandparents are old, they're adults, they should know better. And they're like, yeah, but you guys gamed them up.
Yeah, but I think us and our mentality at that time, we were already trying to get over it. Like we didn't feel like victims at all in that case. I know it. I didn't
Yeah,
feel like one. You know what I mean? That's just. I mean, call it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. That shit was just nuts. You know,
yeah,
that place was just nuts. Period, man. The whole fucking shit over there was just crazy, bro. But
yeah.
that's why it's the big ass. That's why I wanted to holler at you about it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm here. I did my thing with Bada Young because I seen, you know, for my people, we keep it real and stuff like that. And I came across yours and like I said, nellis is a big part of me, man. So I just want to holler a little bit, And after this, I probably just recluse back to my life and just do my thing. But I'm gonna continue to watch, man, and keep doing your thing, Cricket. That's what's up, man. Like as we
Appreciate
get
that, G.
older, we realize that shit was fucking nuts, man.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before we wrap it up, is there anything else you wanted to say, G?
No, man, just shout out to my wife, the family, and everybody out there watching this, man. I don't know how the system is now for the youngers, but don't make that one mistake that they're not gonna let you back from, man. You don't want to
Yeah.
be 40 years down the line sitting in the cell just wishing you can have your time back or wishing you didn't do what you did. I mean, this shit don't come with a 401k or a retirement plan or something like that. It's just all bad from the gate. You're gonna lose that time. You're gonna be playing catch up. You're gonna be, missing your people. It's just a big waste of time, man. And
Yeah.
it's not necessary.
And when you say that, I want people to realize that when he says it doesn't come with a 401k retirement plan, right? Okay, because when you work for companies, that they do a lot of times come with that, right? And to give an example, when I worked for Bank of America for 11 years, and when I decided I wasn't going back, I cashed out my pension, my 401k, paid a heavy ass penalty, but I was able to live off of that shit for a while. You know what I mean? When you cash out your chips in the streets, there a lot of times there isn't something like that. You know what I mean? There isn't something to fall back on. You ain't cashing out fucking a 401k or a pension. There's nothing set to the side for you. So it's just like pick it up. You got to pick it up from that moment. So might
Man.
as well make sure that moment is a lot fucking sooner
Yeah.
than later.
I mean, I guess the only thing you got is the experience and what we went through. And if you could step up and help somebody else out, like what you're doing, Cricket, I mean, I guess that's all it is. I mean, because if
Yeah.
we went through all that, it ain't really anything to show for it except for, our experiences and stuff we can, pass on to other people so they don't make the same mistakes. But besides that, there really ain't nothing. I mean,
Yeah.
I
Fortunately.
mean, so at least we can do this.
Yes, sir. And I appreciate
Yeah,
you taking the time to chop it up with us, G.
yeah, no problem, man. Anytime, Javi.
And with that, we out. Peace.
Peace.